Time marches on, and the age of a new king draws nearer.
Today is the day we'll finally take that necromancer down, but first we complete the quest that we had with helping the chef. Who would have known that even cooking is also stained deep in race wars? But that is the way this country runs. For now, it's best not to think about that and head to the cathedral. Before that, I did want to say I gave Stroll the mage archetype. The broker did say they're immune to slash attacks, and is also weak to fire, so the mage should be able to counteract that as we push onwards. Where we fought Grius a few days ago stood a Parapus. I've seen her before, but she looked bruised like she's been to war. We check on her, she tells us about the dead and is ready to go onwards, but we can see the wear and tear on her, asking her to treat her wounds first. But she can't, her friend is still stuck in there, and the soldier who went to save her isn't back either. It's better, less blood is shed this day, so I decide I'll go in and help save her friend. But she's not trusting, since there must be more to wanting to help a Parapus, which is a sad thought process. But with the way they're treated, I'm not shocked. Alas, she relents, telling us that her friend is a Parapus girl around her age with a yellow flower pin and black hair, adding that she'll repay us for this. I don't need payment, but I won't say no to that either, as we take the back entrance to the cathedral. There is so much death and corpses that are lifeless but not resurrected. The death toll is sickening. What a waste of life. We enter the main hall and overhear two guards basically saying things out loud. By the sounds of it, the key isn't well secured, and more importantly, we'll have to use the stairs rather than the magical lift. Yay, I love stairs. But we did find a door with civilians locked inside, so we have our goal to get those keys, which was found easily, just sitting there. What a sorry excuse for a guard. But I don't think he'll be alive by the end of these days' events. If not by the undead, but likely by Luis himself. We made it back though and opened the door. We weren't able to save some, but others did survive. There's a silver lining. Sadly, that silver lining didn't include the Parapus with black hair, as she's dead. It's truly a shame. As Stroll and Hulkenberg help the others evacuate, the Parapus with pink hair comes cradling her friend, apologizing for being late. She then apologizes to me, saying she knew she was gonna stay back, but we made a line for her, and then paying me a meaty chunk of gold, adding that she'll give me more when she's paid big next time. But I reassure her, I need no more money. In a way, we failed our mission, so I shouldn't be paid at all. She thinks I only helped her because of her status, but I'll admit, I don't know who she is. We shocked her, saying that I just helped a Parapus without expecting anything in return. Doesn't that just take the cake? I mean, I can understand where she's coming from, but we're both oppressed races. However, she just calls me weird and talks about her friend. She worked with a rich baron, but when she died, he just laughed and said, "Even a Parapus could be useful once in a while," which is so disgusting to hear. Which she agrees, wishing to see this world torn down. Something I can agree with. And she knows that she can see it in my eyes, adding that if we ever cross paths again, she will help me, saying it's a promise. And with that shake, I've awoken the brawler in my heart. With that, she left with her friend, and now we can move on. But would you look at that? The cat is just there, like Moore said. So I decided to use it and then awaken the brawler in Hulkenberg's heart. And with that, we keep pushing forwards and reach the stairs. I knew this was coming, but I wasn't wishing it would be this soon. But we gotta keep going. Stroll is already complaining, it's only been a few stairs, man. But for some reason, Gallico was complaining, but you can fly, so I don't want to hear it, girl. As we talk a little more about the situation with the army, Luis, and the necromancer, we keep climbing up. When we got to the top, we heard voices. They were ones of fear. As we checked, the guards are running away from the undead, locking the door behind them. What cowards. We enter the room and see them. It's like what possessed Grius was, but they're mindless and ravenous in comparison. We'll have to kill them nonetheless. But can you kill something that's already dead? I don't want to think too hard, as we push on. On our journey, we saw a crystal. Its properties let it summon endless creatures. A vile thing, that is, but the monsters they summoned were completely trivial to face, so went down thanks to having no backup so much for summoning waves. With that door from before opened, I fall back to open a door with black fog rolling under. At this point, I see that I know I'm in for a fight. Sadly, there was no survivors in there, only the dead as we wiped them out with ease. However, we were wrong. There was actually a single survivor, and he told us about the treasure chest. Is the treasure of the sanctum, wishing for it not to fall in Luis's hands, as he draws his final breath, clutching the key in his hands. I oblige his final request, taking the key and the treasure inside. I wonder if it'll have any use though. The others seem to think of its value. We'll have to see soon enough. But entering a room, a guard was there and he'd given up on pretty much everything, seeing no point to even catch intruders, which means we're safe, as after asking him, he tells us how to get up and even hands us a key. Even if he's a part of the opposite team, at least he knows to just give it and instead of dying pointlessly, as we open the door and keep going. On our journey going higher and higher in the cathedral, we hear a voice taunting us, saying we're quite skilled, but also comparing us to rats. Gallagher and Hulkenberg think they're most likely the Whiteclads, Luis's elite guard, but we'll have to see as we make it to the top. But first, I reached rank 10 with Healer, which means I can complete the quest for more, which he's happy to hear, and increasing our bond. But now he has another quest. This time, he wants to see the Gunner archetype, and I should find someone who is mechanically minded. And with that, I leave Academia and face the black foal rolling under the door. And there was the Whiteclads. But alas, I was not ready for this fight as I got mowed down quite quickly. I had to change my strategy, and doing some small archetype adjustments, the fight went way more favorably, ending with a synchronized attack.
Let's set it up!
Line up, Hulkenberg!
I'm counting on you! No holding back!
With their death, we kept going. We met a wall made of magla. It was blocking the lift, which means we have no way to go higher as of now, but with a little looking, we found a crystal of pure magla. That might be the cause of the wall, which the others agree on, so it's wall smashing time. But first, we made it to the hall where the crystal is, and there was a statue which reacted to the amulet, lowering it, but I'll admit, I forgot to actually grab the treasure past here. Silly me. Instead, I was busy fighting the protectors of the Magla Crystal. I wish I could say it was easy fight, but I'm run out of MP, and they're immune to Hulkenberg and Stroll's regular attacks. So I spent a good while trying all sorts of strategies and resting, but it eventually worked out with a lot of trial and error, and they fell to a synchronized attack.
It's not over yet! After me! You can do this! Let's do this!
With their defeat, the destruction of the crystal, which hopefully gives us the ability to access the lift. And we were right, though that means that people can come down that lift, as we fight more Whiteclads, and I got wiped out pretty fast. With the lack of MP and poor planning, I only have one revive, and hope so, with a lot of resets coming, trying to get crits and with synchronized attacks, I finally got a good run after 7 or so minutes, which was happy to see, as finally I can move onwards. But first, I decided to use the Mage's ability to passively gain MP from enemies to my advantage, grinding in the lower areas until I had what I needed and went upstairs, entering a massive room, likely where debates happened. The portraits of kings lay on the ground riddled with holes, as Luis's portrait sits there for all to see. What ego! But Hulkenberg seems to be somewhat knowing of the necromancer, calling him Zorba. She starts telling us about him. He had a true skill with magic that could animate the inanimate, but lacked an offensive magic. But Luis saw his potential, and now he's devoted to his god Luis. As we look back to the portrait, I agree, utter devotion for someone to the point of wanting to do a Day of Calamity is dangerous. As we keep going, and with fate, or if he heard us, we open a door, and we met with Zorba in the flesh. He applauds us for making it this far. Hulkenberg asks if the Magla is his doing. He seems to dodge the question, more surprised we knew of him. But after another push, he responds asking if we're talking about the Melancholia crystals. Magla crystal is so much better, go back to saying that, man. But he calls it a little more of a parlor trick to block our path. All magic is derived from motes of Magla, and that's just one possible version of it, the type that drives mortals to madness. Hulkenberg asks for Zorba to make sense, and he continues saying it's the result of Magla at its most dense. Man or beast, any wretch who feels it will go berserk. They'll see anyone as a threat, adding some really gruesome things that happen thanks to it, but Stroll pushes his luck.
Hey! I'm not done talking to you.
You've done nothing but talk. Perhaps you should have listened instead.
Is this a piece of bone?
I had to find some use for the scattered pieces I couldn't animate into soldiers. And now I have 3 more fools.
Look out! Take...
With the negotiations following through, Stroll asks for ideas, and I say let's just luck it. I mean, if we have an archetype that negates Pierce, we should be fine, but he just calls me mad. I can't think of anything we could possibly do to push forward, but then I thought about it, maybe some form of shield to protect us could work. We're lacking with ideas, but I thought about it. If he treats Luis like a god, that means he wouldn't attack him, so we could use the portrait of him as a shield. Hulkenberg seems to be on the same page, and we decide with the Luis Gambit.
What? You degenerates! That's...
Don't mind us. We've rubbish to dispose of.
Rubbish! You heathens! I'll pulverize you!
Try if you like. Be ashamed to destroy your Lord Luis's pretty face, though.
Ah! Underhanded, treacherous little...
That's rich coming from you.
Silence! You witless incompetents! I can't tarry here any longer. I've You defile Lord Luis with this blasphemy! You'll pay! I swear! I'll make you regret this!
That was a funny interaction, but it worked in our favor. Regardless of Zorba's hypocrisy, we must move onwards, reaching the capital chambers where the scepter stands. Well stood. It's been taken. That blasted necromancer. But there's no ways out from this direction. We went, so that means he's on the roof, and we'll face him. Not before a quick refill of our MP, of course. I'm going to be playing magic and healing support, so I'm gonna need it. As we open the door, with a black fog rolling in. We face him, asking where the scepter is, and he responds that the fallen king has the scepter. It must be protecting it for the future king, as Zorba is nice and will let us go, since he has sympathy for fools. But the only way we're leaving is either with his head or with Luis's location, which Zorba thinks is really funny.
I see now! No wonder I couldn't understand your actions. They're baseless, utterly unfounded.
Madness ill becomes you, Zorba.
You again. What would you know of it? I know no lady knights. Wait! A knight with blood-red tresses. Don't tell me you're the buffoon who failed to protect the prince.
Judgments mean nothing from a man who sullies the dead. You've fallen far yourself.
Perhaps I am unworthy of the royal scepter, but I can still bring change to this world. I can still teach them true fear.
You'll find that hard to do from a dungeon, blackguard.
You, knight, have no idea what real justice is, and that mistake will cost you your life. Rejoice, rats! That witless assassin is dead, but I shall gladly send you to join him! Now die! Lord Luis's destined kingdom will be built atop your bones!
What destined kingdom? Tell us where Luis has gone, or we'll tear the words from you!
For all the innocent lives you played for pawns, I shall make you pay!
The boss fight is a war of attrition. He takes good damage from magic and strength we wield, but also has bodies at his disposal, summoning never-ending tides of the undead and then buffing them to hold us back. And it almost worked. I got a little cocky and got myself knocked out, but I was told after they fought a long, hard battle and eventually were able to take him down with a synchronized attack.
Still fight as one!
I'm counting on you!
Impossible! This can't be happening! Lord Luis!
With Zorba's defeat, Hulkenberg is ready to smite him down, but Gallica tells her not to kill him yet, as we need to know of Luis's location. But Zorba refuses, asking for death. Schroll tries to tell him that Luis will toss him away, but Zorba responds that a damn Clamar wouldn't understand. But surely me, an elder, would know what it's like to be an outcast, to be everyone's scapegoat. We're called lesser tribes. They loathe us. Adding, he believed once, but then he heard exactly what they thought of us. The lesser are expendable. Send them to the front, and they will act as our living shields. It pains me, but I know he is correct, as Zorba stands, saying he has a plan, calling magic a dangerous art, as he lets out raw magla and then cries out for the glorious day of calamity falling into the foggy abyss to his death. With his death, he awoken something. We hear cries from the ground. The magic, this day of calamity, it was that human. It's now alive again. Regardless of everything, even if this day of calamity, it's early, we have a chance. It might still be weak. We have to stop it.
How can this be? Was this creature's rebirth Zorba's plan all along?
If it escapes, if it makes it to the city,
It spotted us!
His Highness's home must still stand when he returns. I will end this here!
Another city in ruins. Never again. It dies or I do.
It's coming!
Look at the size of that thing.
It would be catastrophic if it breached the city. We must stop it!
But how are we supposed to kill something this huge?
Look there! That can be little else but the heart. Surely to strike there would give it pause.
But it's too high up for our weapons to reach. Do we use magic?
A viable plan. Yet surely if we can knock the creature down first, its heart will be close enough to strike with steel.
Then we bludgeon the torso, knock the wind out of it. Hard to miss a target that size.
Without the ability to revive, I had to be extra careful. I did a good amount of resets coming to get the perfect run. I understood what all of its weaknesses are. I know the heart is resistant to all forms of magic by the looks of it, so the egg is where I have to hit. We crack it, leave the heart exposed, we deal good damage, but then it gets up and attacks us with its little soldiers, but then the hands help the egg regrow, so we also need to target them. So it's a long, hard-fought battle. First the hands, making his damage way lower, then Gallica helps with the soldiers, and after a few close calls and resets, we finish its heart off.
No holding back!
With the humans' defeat, we can finally relax, somewhat. Hulkenberg thanks us for risking our lives to protect the capital, but Schroll doesn't see the upside, since everything's in ruins and Grius is gone, adding that on that day he promised Maria they'd split bread together, but that isn't what happened. I try to comfort Schroll, but he just hates how powerless he is in the grand scheme. But Hulkenberg tells him that it's not his fault. If it wasn't for Alsus, the prince wouldn't be alive now, nor would she have known the truth of the prince herself. Everyone who has fallen here did not die in vain. He's not convinced, but a person of the church appeared, thanking us for all of our hard work. Seeing the people who saw our heroic work made him see a bigger picture, and he was able to smile again. And with that, our mission is finally complete. But now we're stuck at square one with Luis, but Hulkenberg asks us if we remember that Luis was shielded by magic. Oh yeah, that's right. I do wonder if since he's the next possible king, he's impervious to damage. That'd be insane, but Hulkenberg says she's going to be asking around her contacts for possible leads, so that means we'll just have to wait for someone to do the next move, which works for me because I'm tired, as we head back to the Honeybee Inn. It seems news goes around fast as Fabian heard about our exploits. She confirms since it's the inn's lifeblood, but now she wishes Grius will rest peacefully. With this, we ask her about Maria, and she's not holding up well. Gallica comments on the city in a stir, which makes sense. Like Hulkenberg said, there's a new king candidates are coming out like flying monkeys, which is when Fabian tells us that she heard that the Sanifex Fordens planning some grand announcement, thinking it might bring Luis out of hiding, saying it's on the 22nd. If it's from an official, there's a good chance it's gonna happen, so I have to look forward to that as the night draws to an end.